Alrighty. Okay, for this bracelet, I am using a 1.5 millimeter Chinese knotting cord, and you will need two lengths. One of them is going to be for the base. See that middle section? And then the other piece is going to be for the one that you actually do the macrame with. So this one's going to be 40 inches. So let's get that on the board, and I'll tell you how I do this. So you just bend it in half, and then measure about 7 inches. So I'm going to measure 7 inches because this is going this part will be the end. So I'm going to clip that in right there, and then I'm going to clip this part in here. And then this section is 54 inches, but I do have a couple of tips because the beads, see how, I mean, that one went on, but if your cord starts to like poof out at the end, then it's going to be harder to get the beads on. So what I do is I like to heat harden the end. So let's get this on here. What you do is you take a lighter and just kind of like run it underneath while you're kind of pulling on it, and it'll I don't know why it gets skinnier and it gets a little bit harder, so it makes it a lot easier to get your beads on. And then what I like to do is take a single edge razor and then cut it like at a diagonal. So let that cool. Let's wait a couple of seconds. All right, I think that's good. And then you just cut it at an angle. And usually, if you can hear it like crunch, that means you did it right. Okay, so I'm gonna put this aside, and I think let me see. When you start with your first knot, I think this side will end up on that side, and that's the side that we'll put the beads on. But one thing I want to mention is that I have made these a few times, and what happens is you can see here, see how that slides? Not good. And the only way that I know of to get it not to slide like that is to put some GS hypo cement at the very beginning, and then when you get to the end, wherever, not here, but like if you're gonna make it 5 inches, then you stop here, 6 inches here. So so what I do is I've just put some GS hypo cement on there. And one thing that you might want to do is just put something underneath that spot where you're going to put the glue. And I know that this is not like normal, but I don't have the patience, or maybe I do. Let's see if I have patience today to wait for this stuff to, I don't. So what I do is I like to just take that needle out, and then it just makes it a lot faster to get that glue on there. And then I just put this back on like that. I mean, I know that's not the way you're supposed to do it, but so, you know, sometimes I have like projects where I need that tip. So I usually have two two tubes of the glue, one with the needle and one without. So the first knot that you are going to make is going to be like an overhand knot like that. And then I kind of make it loose, and then I try to make sure that see how the ends are like horribly uneven. So you just want to make sure that those ends are even. And one thing that helps, because I don't know why, sometimes they just kind of go all over the place, no matter how hard you try. So I like to like hold it and then do that overhand knot. Just keep it there as long as, just like that. And then I slide it over the glue and then just tighten it really tightly. And then you start with that stitch. And it's pretty simple. You just make like an S and just hold it. And then this side goes over, and then back through that this loop on the right-hand side. What you want to do is like scoot it over that glue and just kind of like wiggle that. Just make sure it's nice and like snug, just like that. And then every stitch that you make afterwards, it's exactly the same, except this time you're adding beads. So I'm going to put a bead on. And one thing that you can do, just string them all on, so that way you don't have to like stop every time you want to do. I'm just going to get these on. And see that it just makes it so much easier, so you don't have to, constantly be messing with that fuzzy end. And I'm just going to put a few more on. And then I'm going to put an overhand knot on this side just so the beads don't fall off. So I'm going to start with, I'm going to slide a bead on, and then you just repeat the step. You make like an S on top like this, hold it, bring this over, and then feed it through this loop from underneath. And the trick is, see this part right here, just kind of like, just gently like pull on it, and you can just hold it with your fingers just long enough to get the tension on there. I think that's the trick. And it's not, this is not a forceful kind of stitch. It's just real, it's gentle, and just hold this, and you could just like look at it to make sure that you've got that like little X looking. And what I'm doing is I'm putting a bead every other like time I make a knot. But you could do it the other way, where you put you could slide a bead down every single one of them. So I'm going to hold that and wiggle it down. And then you just keep repeating these steps until you get to the end. I think I'm going to make mine about, well, the good thing is, one thing you can do, if you said, this is the first time I've made this, I just don't know. The good thing is it's really easy to just take it off, try it on. If it's too short, just keep going. So I'm going to finish this, and then when I get to the end, I'll show you how to finish the end part. Okay, so I've gotten to the end, and I think I'm going to put one more bead on. So let me get this. Let me measure it first. Let me see. I think that's good. I mean, I could make it a little bit longer, but I will be adding that macrame slide knot, which is going to take, a certain amount of space. So let me just get one more bead on here, and then okay. So let me come over here. And now I'm gonna have to like put my glue. Okay, so let me get my GS Hypo Cement. You want to get it like on the top, and like get some on the bottom, because this glue is really, I love it. I mean, I always complain about it, but I really do like it. So right around here, you got to be kind of careful, because you don't want to rub the glue off. So you got to be kind of careful. So I'm going to come in. I'm going to hold it just carefully, and then wiggle that in. And then this one, I'm just going to make it very, very tight. And I'm just going to let that like sit for a while, but you know, I'm just going to trim it now. Um, I think I don't know how flammable this stuff is. I mean, here it says flammable. So what I would do is just wait a couple of minutes for the fumes to kind of like dissipate before melting it. So what you do now is you just turn this over and then you crisscross the ends and you put a macrame slide knot. Um, and see that glue, it's definitely going to help it from sliding because that sliding business, oh, I was not too happy about that. So then you crisscross the ends over and then clip this here and then clip this side here. And usually for my macrame slide knots, I don't know, 16 inches always seems to do the job, but I know that this cord is a little bit thicker than what I'm used to, so I'm just going to add a few more inches. And if anyone's wondering, this cord, I bought it at like a show a long time ago, and it was a skein. So it's one of those things that you have to like unravel, which is not fun. Not fun. But I have one of those skein winder things that is very, very helpful. So when I do the macrame slide knot, like right at the top here, I basically start just like I did. And then let's make sure the ends are even, which they are. And this one, I'd like to make it a little bit like more snug than usual, only because there's a lot of cords in here. So then I'm going to just do the regular old macrame knot. And if it's too chunky for you, if you have like different sizes available, you can, did I do that wrong? Yes, I did. Then you could step down in the size that you use. And this you could also do this project with the 1 millimeter. Did I do that wrong again? Oh my, I am not paying attention. Okay, it's a, see, I know because see that little lump right there, that little thing, that means you need to do a bottom. So let's top and bottom. Okay, there we go. I think that's long enough. I like to make mine about an inch or so. I'm gonna go one more. Okay, and I've got this cool tip for you. Let me get a metal thing. Because since this stuff is really it's thick, I guess let's see, I think the bottom of I'll use this. The bottom of my knotting awl. It's nice and flat. And when you when you melt that end, you need it to like not come apart. And one thing that's really helpful is, let's see, I'm going to melt it. Blow just a little tiny bit. Wait till and then with the end of this, see, I'm going to like press it in. And what it's going to do is make it like a little button. So that's going to help keep this macrame knot from coming apart. Just let it cool completely and then see that. And this, most cords, I mean, I've been doing this a while and almost every cord will turn dark when it's melted. So, and don't use glue on a macrame slide knot because I did that once and it was a huge, because you run the risk of getting the glue on here on the cord that it's supposed to slide on and then it gets like stuck. Oh, I think I made that one too long, but let's get it like melted. Oop, perfect. Let me see. I think it might be safe to melt these now. Let's do it. Let's see what happens if the thing blows up. Then you'll know to wait longer. So let's see what happens. I think it'll be fine. Whoops. Perfect. And let's do this side. All right, looking good. And I wouldn't like try like moving this is, you know, if you think, oh, did it glue? And then you kind of move it. You see this one here? See that? Oh, that is just awful. I don't like that. Ugh. I suppose if you can, I don't know. If you stretch it out, it actually makes that pattern. See that? So it's just something to think about if you could make the stitch and then keep pulling it out and then it just, it's just a little bit different. Let's see. Yeah, that's kind of cool too. I kind of sort of like that. But it kind of, see how it just twists funny? So I'm going to pass on that. So then what you do here is, now we got to do our stop knots. Oh, I don't want to pull it. Ooh. Oh, well, wait a couple of minutes before you like pull it so the glue doesn't get like dislodged because it's not completely dry yet. So, but just be careful. And what you want to do is like put it on and you want just the enough opening so that you could get it on and take it off because that way these cords here won't be like horribly long. So I think that is as long as I want it. And I'm going to put an overhand knot right here. So I'm going to take, let's see, just like this. And then I'm going to scoot it all the way up right there and pull. And if you this side, it doesn't matter. You can just cut it if you want. It doesn't matter if it's, oh yeah, actually you do need to cut it because we need to add the finishing beads. Or if you prefer, you could just like do it by hand like that. Perfect. Okay, so now I'm going to take a couple of these guys. Maybe I'll put 2 on each end. Oh, see, I'm going to see if just cutting it at an angle will do the trick because I don't feel like heat hardening all 4 ends. And plus, I just need to get a couple of beads on there. Okay. I mean, usually the cord can handle like a couple of beads before it starts to like go crazy and like, what is, oh my goodness. Okay. This guy's like, Okay. I'm going to put one on there. Scoot it down. And pull. And get 2 on this side. Okay, so there we have it. That is how you make this bracelet. Let me see, let's come in close. All right, well, I hope you enjoy this tutorial, and I hope you make one of these. I'd like to see how they come out. All right, guys, I will see you next time.